Hey, welcome to Saturday Morning Cartoons. Today we're going to talk about different suspensions for different applications. First, we're going to start off with my Nissan 370 Nismo. This car right here has upgraded sway bars, upgraded coilovers, even converted the rear into true coilovers, upper control arms. In the back it has the it has the camber arms, it has the tie bars, it has every arm that you could put on this car, and it's all with Heinz joints. So there's no rubber bushings, there's nothing at all as far as for comfort or not to feel road vibration or noise vibration or any type of vibration in the car. This car is going to be set up for like a full track setup. So eventually I'm going to put these solid motor mounts in, which is going to give you more vibration. Solid transmission mount. Once again, it's going to be a track car, so it will be more vibration. And in the rear cradle, they make these solid bushings. So we'll drop the cradle out, and then we'll insert these solid bushes and put them in. So it helps take out a lot of slop in the rear of the car when you're heavy on the gas, or if you're in a turn, or any type of on-off acceleration. It gives you more of a positive reaction. On a full track setup car like this, you don't really want to drive it every day because it's going to be the most aggressive ride you could possibly ever want to have. I mean, it's going to be very unforgiving, but when it goes to the track, it'll respond, it'll handle, you'll get all the feedback through the steering wheel. It'll handle so good, it'll perform and do everything you want it to do, where you don't have to have a monster amount of horsepower. All your driving skills is what's going to take you over the hump with having a setup like this. I mean, don't get me wrong, we're still going to do a horsepower upgrade, but without having the horsepower, without having the track modifications as far as through the suspension, the horsepower would be kind of useless in this particular application, what we're building this for. Now we're going to step over to the Camaro. The Camaro is kind of like in between because it has magnetic ride, which came from GM. So I have a recalibrated magnetic ride computer in the car, and then I have BMR lowering springs. So when I lower the car, your magnetic ride is at a different position, so you have to zero everything back out. And then I went far as to buying a DSC Sport controller to recalibrate everything to get the maximum amount of performance out of my suspension. So this car, it has the stock factory, because GM did a really good job with the 1LE to make like a road course car, and a comfortability to drive on the street. But I knew that I was going to do half-mile runs and mile runs in this car, so I put a roll cage in here to stiffen it up a little bit. What else? That's about it, because the magnetic ride control in this car is so good. There's not really too much more you will want to do. I don't want to take it off and put coilovers on, because I'll be locked into riding into a coilover that's set up for one thing and one thing only. I can still take this and put it into touring mode. I can still put it in sport mode, or then I can put it in the track, or I can put it in the race 1 or race 2, and then it just fully stiffens everything up. So I get the adjustability and the best of all worlds out of this particular car here, with all the horsepower and all of the suspension that this car came with from GM. It's really the complete car. So you can kind of daily this every day if you wanted to, and then turn on your track mode and put it in race 1 or race 2, and then you can go around the road course. But with the electronics and everything that are in this car and the magnetic ride control, it kind of gives you the best of everything, where the Nissan will be locked into just going down the track, hauling ass nonstop. This is the best of both worlds. Oh, I almost forgot. We went down to a 19 and a lighter weight wheel that helps a whole lot in rotational mass, and you're not turning big 20s that came on the car. And also, if you look in between here, I have 2-piece rotors in the rear and I have 2-piece rotors in the front, which also helps lighten up the rotational mass and also gives you more of a response when you're turning the wheel, when you're in the corners and curves, and you get more of a positive reaction when you're giving acceleration or deceleration. So those are the main things with this. This is kind of like in between. Now the Dodge Charger right here, I will never set this car up to be like either one of these. It's a family car. It rides good. You know, the suspension upgrades I did on this was I put the heavy duty Bilstein struts and shocks on here. I still have the factory springs on here for right now, but on this particular car, you know, I kept the wheels and tires the same. I just went with an all-season tire, a high-performance all-season Toyo tire, and in the long run, this car probably right here will get air ride. It's what me and my wife get around in. She goes to work in. You know, you want it to be comfortable. I'm not trying to make a four-door, 4,600-pound car into a track car or into a race car. I'm trying to make this into something that when we get in, we go out, we can ride around, enjoy it comfortably, go to the grocery store, get our coffee, or go out for a night on the town. So I try to separate my applications for what I want the car to do. You know, this particular one is the get around car. You know, something that you can take a long trip in. As you can see, we did the Hot Rod Power Tour in it. You know, 3,000 miles of driving, no problems. I couldn't do 3,000 miles of driving straight in the Nissan just because of the way the suspension is set up. It would kill my back before I got done with it. I could probably do the 3,000 in the Camaro. It'll be a little rough, not too bad, but I'll just have to ride around in tour or sport mode where it's really soft. And then when I do something, if I get on it, if I want to go to any type of drag strip or road course, I can ratchet it down to race 1 or race 2. But yeah, when you set your cars up, think about it in reality, what you're going to use it for, how you're going to use it, you know, and what are you willing to give up and sacrifice. You know, I'm totally giving up everything with my 370. You know, I know that when I get in that car, when I hit a bump, I'm going to feel it. I know when I give it gas, I'm going to feel it. I know when I brake, I'm going to feel it. You know, so I go from total race to total comfort. So whenever you do your cars, just try to factor everything in what you want to do with it. If it's your only car, I would not highly recommend going full race, because you go full race, you're going to hate it everywhere you go. But some people do it. If you don't have multiple cars in, you know, I understand, but try to use them for the right application for what you want to use your car overall about 90% of the time. Well, that's all we have for this week. If you like the videos, comment, share, subscribe, and we'll keep coming with more content. Thank you very much. Have a great day.